Today we are talking about fibery threads, or as I like to call them, wispy threads. I'm going to take you through 4 of my favorite kinds, and I'm going to show you my favorite bits about each one. Okay, so let's get all of this out of here, and we're going to start with this pile. So this is called Elena. It's E-L-L-A-N-A. It is by Wonderful Specialty Threads and Sue Spargo. So these are all the Sue Spargo colors. They can be found on her website, which I'll list all of this information in the description. So this is, let's see, it's a wool and acrylic blend. It's a thinner thread. So you can see here, and I'm going to compare like a lot of the threads so that you can see what each one looks like. But this is a thinner thread, really good for embroidery. I love thread that comes on spools like this just because I find it super easy to work with. I don't have to worry about like unraveling a skein of thread. But I mean, I use all kinds of thread. So that's just one of my favorite things about this. This is really great for, well, for the colors. First of all, the colors are really great. You know, I love a lot of colors in my embroidery. This might be one of my favorites, this like coral color. So I love the colors. I love that it can add fine details to your embroidery. I like to use this with satin stitching. And I just love the little wispy bits that you can see here. So that is the Elena thread. And now moving on to the DMC. This is new. Just like a week or so ago. This is the Evo Vita. It's their organic wool, and it's a crewel wool. Now, I'm going to compare this in size to what I just showed you. I'll pull a little out of each one so that you can see. So you can see that the Elena is right here. This is the Evo Vita. It's a little bit thicker, not by a ton, has lots of nice wispies. The colors are really pretty. I'll keep these 2 over here because I'll compare those with everything else. The colors are really pretty. It almost feels like, now I don't know much about how thread is made. Is that embarrassing to say as someone who loves thread so much? But the colors are just, it looks like there's like 2 colors twisted together to make this. I don't know. I'm probably sounding not super smart about thread right now, but what I love are the colors. And I love the wispy bits. I've used this already, again, with some satin stitching. Let's see. I'm going to pull this out. So I used that right here. You can see it. It just gives a nice muted color. I think the colors are really pretty and muted, except we've got a few of these brighter ones that I really like. And they work up really nicely. They look super pretty. Again, I would use these for satin stitching so that you can really see the fibers. I feel like when the fibers are all like really tightly packed, you can see them more and notice them. But I really like this. Yeah, I would definitely keep working with this. It's made in Italy, and I don't know if it says, yeah, I don't know that it says much about what it's made of other than it's organic wool. So there you have it. Okay, moving on to the Appleton's wool. So this is also a crewel wool, not cruel, but crewel. Spelled C-R-E-W-E-L, same as the Evo Vita. This can be used in needlepoint. It's not as thick as a tapestry wool. Let's compare it to the other 2 that we've talked about so far. So we have the Elena here. We have the Evo Vita here. Here is the Appleton's. So I feel like when you're looking at them, this one looks, the Appleton's looks a little thicker. I don't know that it is thicker though. I think it's just more loosely wound. I feel like I get more fibers showing on the Appleton's wool, but I mean, I don't know that I think you're going to see fibers either way, which is perfect. That's what I want. And so, yeah, I love how this works up too. The colors, and I have to talk about that because neons are not always super easy to find in thread. And Appleton's has an amazing selection of neon colors, which is what drew me to this thread in the first place. I mean, look at these colors. We've got our nice subdued colors here, and then we have the electric of the neons. So these are great. I highly recommend them. I get mine from, I'm in the US, I get them from Snuggly Monkey, snugglymonkey.com. She has a great selection, variety, and I definitely recommend these. Okay, moving on. Finally, we have our last one. So this is by the Threadgatherer. These are gorgeous. I mean, just look at how stunning they are. This is the Aurora collection. And the wispiness, I mean, if you're looking for a wispy thread, absolutely pick this. I also love the metallic. I'll see if I can get that in here. You can see the little metallic sparkles throughout. So for embroidery, I use this. The one thing I do have to be careful of is when I'm embroidering with this, I can't cut, like, I can't embroider with like a super long length of it, because eventually like the threads, as they're being pulled in and out of the fabric, they just want to fray. So I embroider in with small sections of it in my embroidery. Beautiful for satin stitching, just beautiful for any of your embroidery work. And let's see, let me compare what we have here. So there was our Elena, here's our Evo Vita, here is our Appleton's, and then here is, let's see, here is our Aurora. Oops, let me get that out. Okay, so it's not a really thick yarn. It might look thicker because of the wispies, but it honestly is really very close to the other two. The Elena's definitely the thinnest. The Evo Vita and the Appleton's are a little thicker. And I feel like this feels to be about the same weight as the other two. Just definitely more wispies. These are all, this is a silk mohair nylon. Oh, and it does say to be careful because the color fastness is not guaranteed. So no problem at all if you're just using it for embroidery, but if you're using it for clothing or something that's going to get a lot of wash and wear, you might not want to use this. So there are your wispy threads. Oh, and that's from the Threadgatherer. Again, I'm going to put all of the links for all of this in the description. Lots of pictures, and I hope this helps you as you are picking wispy threads for your embroidery. Happy stitching!